Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a lovely episode of Daybreak. I'm Addison Deal.
And I'm Devin Amee. Though it may be in the past for our viewers, Cupid season is in full swing here at Daybreak. So, this episode will be all about Valentine's Day.
From chocolate to charity, our stories will be sure to warm your hearts. Not to mention, we'll also have some non-Valentine's news from our reporters.
Ether Nowinski is here to smack this week's political news, and Jake Bell will give you the scoop on what happened during last weekend's big game.
We can't wait to get started. Wake up and smell the romance, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
Welcome back, everyone.
Let's kick things off by hearing all about the love that's in the air in Pittsburgh.
The New Haven Court Senior Living Facility celebrated Valentine's Day this week with cards, candy, and beaming smiles. This event was sponsored by the Senior Helpers of Greensburg, as well as outreach from local schools, churches, and other organizations and businesses in order to make this sweet event happen. Those at the facility received almost 3,000 Valentine's Day cards. This number outshined the original 1,600 that they had been hoping to receive. In total, senior helpers received over 7,000 cards, which left more than enough to send out to other homes as well. The event was an opportunity to raise the spirits of New Haven Court residents, and the success of this first-time event was large enough that they plan to participate again next year.
A local charity held a gala this past weekend raising money to support people affected with heart failure. Heart failure affects over 6.2 million adults in the United States, according to the CDC. With a condition like this, patients must undergo a multitude of surgeries, doctor's appointments, and other related medical expenses on top of the funds needed to travel and stay for these treatments. That was what exactly the Joe Baroda Foundation had in mind when they were announcing their Hopeful Hearts Valentine's Day Gala. The gala was at the Grand Hall at the Priory on the north side. The event had food, drinks, a silent auction, wine tastings, and dancing to tunes played by the band No Bad Juju. After the evening's conclusion, organizers estimated that the event gained about $40,000 to $50,000. These funds will be sent to families to cover their travel fees, hotel rooms, and other expenses that come with being a heart failure patient.
I feel like Valentine's Day is one of those holidays that people either love or hate, and there's absolutely no in between. I have always loved Valentine's Day. I think it's just super cute, and I always think about memories and the story about at the New Haven with the Valentine's Day cards. Immediately, memories of childhood being in my elementary school classroom.
Yes.
And, like the little shoe boxes, and everybody gets their little Valentines.
It was so much fun to decorate them. You know, you get like the cute little wrapping paper and your glitter glue, and you're making it like the cutest one in the classroom. You had to have the best.
Yes, it was always just such a fun little thing, because then you'd have your cute little parties, and I don't know, that's just always what I've associated Valentine's Day with, rather than just being like, love.
I feel like people forget it's not just for relationships. It's for, you know, fun little things like that, where you get to do cutesy little things, give out little heart Valentines and stuff like that to your friends. It's not just for relationships.
Yes, it doesn't just have to be for your lover. You can have Valentine's Day parties too. I don't know if you're doing anything with your friends for Valentine's Day, but my friends and I plan on like doing a cutie little get-together.
I love a little Galentine's Day.
Yes. After the break, we'll kick things off with even more Valentine's Day stories.
Then, later in the show, you'll get your weekly sideline slice and PolitiSmack reports.
You won't want to miss them. Daybreak will be right back.
Welcome back to Daybreak, lovebirds.
Let's transition to even more uplifting Valentine's Day news. Addison?
Pittsburgh's annual Party in the Park at Schenley this past weekend was a little different this year with the Schenley ice rink under renovation. While the familiar faces kids came to see were still there, organizers warned attendants that the lack of an ice rink would not put a damper on the party. City Parks rink manager Mirella Ronaldo said in a quote to WPXI, quote, "Of course we're disappointed that we can't skate this year, but we've pulled together to come up with something fantastic to keep the annual mascot tradition going. Working with our community enrichment program team, as well as mascot organizer Bill Bacca, we've come up with Mascot Madness, and we are looking forward to a great day," end quote. Kids were able to pose for pictures with our favorite Pittsburgh mascots like Pirate Parrot, Iceberg the Penguin, and the Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, as well as face painting and a balloon artist.
If you're anything like me, the best part of Valentine's Day, besides spending it with loved ones, of course, is the chocolate. However, this year, those heart-shaped boxes or truffles may cost you more than expected. The cost of cocoa in the last year has skyrocketed due to climate issues in West Africa, which produces 60% of cocoa internationally. Along with the increase in sugar and packaging prices, as well as the need to pay workers fairly, these prices are increasing and affecting chocolatiers, which will later affect the price of the product itself down the line, including a 10% price increase within the last year. According to the NCA, or the National Confectioners Association, Valentine's Day candy sales in the year 2023 exceeded over $4 billion. Sweet treats are the most common gift besides flowers on this day. However, if these new prices are not so sweet for your pockets, handwritten cards do just fine.
After more than 35 years of serving the Pittsburgh public school system, Natalie L. Green is celebrating her 102nd birthday. The city of Pittsburgh honored Green on her birthday by naming February 8th Natalie Green Day and celebrating her with a ceremony of loving testimonies from friends and family. Mayor Ed Gainey said at the ceremony, quote, "She has demonstrated the highest form of citizenship throughout her years and tremendously worked hard in education and life, serving in various leadership and civic positions. Her illustrious teaching and academic career blessed countless families in Ohio, Alabama, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania," end quote. Along with teaching elementary school, Green enjoys watching football and spending time with her family. She says her trick for living so long rests in a simple secret: surrounding yourself with people you love. 102 years. That is a crazy long time.
Such a long time.
I don't even know, what is left to do when you get to 102? Like, 100 years, what are you doing for that long? I feel like I would have run out of stuff to do by, 75.
No, I sit here at 19 years old and turning 20 in the summer, and I'm like, wow, I have done so much. That's it.
I've got how many more years to fill? 102 years?
No way.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Before heading into our next segments, it's time for another break.
We're so excited to hear about the big games results and updates about the upcoming presidential election. Stay tuned.
It's a tough crowd.
Welcome back. I'm Jake Bell, reporting for this week's Sideline Slice. The last game of the NFL season has just ended, but not after two incredible stories. One being the Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes on the AFC side, looking to continue a potential dynasty. On the NFC side, Brock Purdy, the last pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, and the 49ers look to win their first ring since 1994. The game would start out in the Chiefs' favor, as Niners running back Christian McCaffrey would lose a fumble on the first drive of the game. The Chiefs could not make the most of the opportunity and would not score following the turnover, with the Niners eventually getting on the board first with a 3-0 lead. McCaffrey would make up for his fumble as he would catch the first touchdown of the game off a trick play from wide receiver Jawan Jennings. After a Chiefs field goal, the game went into halftime with the 49ers leading the Chiefs 10-3. Mistakes would haunt the Niners in the second half as a Ray McCloud mishandled punt would lead the Chiefs to a field goal. A Brock Purdy to Jawan Jennings touchdown would also result in a missed extra point. However, the game would still end regulation with a 19-19 score. In overtime, the second one in the game's history, the Niners would take the early lead with a field goal to make it 22-19. This lead would not be great enough to stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, however, as Mahomes would complete every pass he threw in overtime, which eventually led to a 1-yard passing touchdown to Mecole Hardman. The Chiefs would win the last game of the season 25-22. Patrick Mahomes would win the MVP for the game, his third in all 3 games he was an NFL champion. So speaking of the big game, it's crazy how beforehand, there's so many people that made betting odds on if Travis Kelce was going to propose to Taylor Swift after the game. What do you guys think about that?
I saw that everywhere. To be the first time I saw it, I thought it had already happened, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait, what?" And I rushed online, but everybody was saying that, they all thought. I don't know. I thought they just met not that long ago, though.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because one, I don't think you should do that in a big setting like that
Yeah.
with everybody watching with all those cameras. And two, like you said, I feel like they only started dating in August before the NFL season started. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think so.
You have to keep in mind, as celebrities, though, their relationship is always out in the public. So even though they may have only been together for a certain amount of time, to everybody, this is the biggest thing in the world. So if they would get engaged right now, nobody would be really shocked by that, I feel.
Yeah.
It would just be more the excitement of, oh my gosh, it happened.
Yeah. That would be a Super Bowl nobody would forget, for real.
And also it would make a lot of NFL fans mad too, because a lot of people I'm sure are sick of all that going on whenever they just want to watch the Chiefs play. But
Yeah.
I mean, still, Taylor Swift, I know it helped her out a lot. So,
Yeah.
everything worked out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Jake. Now let's get reporter Ethan Rowinski to fill us in on this week's Politismack.
Ethan, let's hear what you have to say.
Welcome back to Politismack. I'm Ethan Rowinski. Last Thursday, the Department of Justice Special Counsel Robert Hur released a report about current President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents related to the war in Afghanistan. That report, while finding that Joe Biden, quote, willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency when he was a private citizen, end quote, no criminal charges were warranted on the matter. Well, this is a relief for the Biden administration and campaign. The report did conclude that the situation could be viewed as him being a, quote, sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, end quote. This comes as a devastating blow for the administration, as upwards of 76% of Americans already had worries about Biden's mental state, according to an NBC poll from February 6th. In response, Biden immediately held a press conference to dispute the claims. One of the most striking parts of the conference came when responding to claims he couldn't remember the date of the death of his son Bao, saying, quote, how in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I remember thinking to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business, end quote. Vice President Kamala Harris also commented on the report's characterization of Biden, calling them, quote, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate. The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated, end quote. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump commented on the report's findings at an NRA rally on Friday, saying, quote, I was right about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the worst and most incompetent and most corrupt president in the history of our country, end quote. Well, this situation should absolutely be a political victory for the former president. Trump also made some political blunders that have put his own favorability in question. On Saturday, Trump made fun of Nikki Haley for her husband not currently being with her while he is currently serving in the military overseas. Later in the day, he mentioned how he would not defend NATO allies who don't meet their defense expenditure guidelines. He even appeared to antagonize Russia, saying, quote, no, I would not protect you. In fact, I would even encourage them to do whatever the hell they want, end quote. He ended off this past Sunday, discussing how he was a major part of Taylor Swift's career with his passing of the Music Modernization Act, saying, quote, there's no way she could endorse crooked Joe Biden and be disloyal to the man who made her so much money, end quote. This past week has been incredibly hectic for both presidential hopefuls. While approval rating polling has not come out in the past week to reflect these comments, it is sure to add to America's uneasiness about both possible candidates. What a week, you guys. I mean,
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, exactly. I mean, even to start off with, like, Joe Biden, I mean, that report is pretty damning for anything. I mean, with 76% of people already had a were questioning his mental state with his age and all these other things, like, I mean, it's got to be scary for them, you know?
Definitely, and Biden's approval rating was already been so low throughout the end of his presidency. I can't see this doing very much for him. It definitely is going to be bad for his re-election campaign.
Oh, absolutely. So they're all very much trembling. And then, so you would think that, you know, this would be great for Trump and, like, politically, but then people have started considering his age and then his wild weekend, including the NATO comments and the Taylor Swift comments. Like, that was really shocking to me.
Guess Taylor Swift has a lot to owe to Donald Trump, you know?
No, apparently, but, you know, so it just, what could have been so successful for the campaign in almost classic Donald Trump fashion, he decided, I'm just going to go off the rails, say whatever I want, and I mean, they might have both shot themselves in the foot at this point.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what voters are thinking because
exactly.
Looks like we're all stuck.
Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan. With all the talk about Valentine's Day, it only makes sense that we conclude our show with our most loved segment, Ray of Sunshine.
In case you've forgotten, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting off your day with a smile. In the spirit of the season, we'll be taking a look at a very happy feline partnership.
Love. It's the most powerful force in the world. Nothing can defeat it, especially when it's in its mightiest form, cat love. Let me tell you a story about the magic of true kitty love. This is the story of Sad Boy and Lola. Once upon a time, a cat named Sad Boy sat perched on his rooftop oasis, overlooking all the townspeople, aka Courtney, his neighbor.
They're living their best life.
Morning, Sad Boy.
He liked it up here. It was private and peaceful, a place where he could be alone. You see, Sad Boy didn't like humans. He didn't want the indoor cat life. He preferred being out here, all by himself. But despite wanting his privacy, he felt something was missing. That is, until another stray came along. Lola.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Good girl.
Lola wasn't like Sad Boy. She was adventurous and outgoing, and she didn't mind a human or two. But as soon as she met Sad Boy, she only had eyes for him. When she saw him, and he saw her, and they saw each other, their love connection was born. He loved how outgoing she was, and she loved his loner ways. Opposites attract, am I right? And although Lola didn't mind people, once she learned Sad Boy wasn't a fan of humans, she immediately became Sad Boy's bodyguard, with a mission to keep him safe from any humans who got close.
Okay.
And if you started looking at Lola's man for too long, she would stare daggers at you. 'Cause that's her Sad Boy. She's like, do not take pictures of my boyfriend. He's my Valentine. Get your own. And Sad Boy would just sit there, happy as a sad boy can be. They were in love. No, better. They were in cat love. The most cats can't spend their whole lives outdoors. And
That was so cute. I have my cat on campus. You have your cat with you as
Yes,
well, right?
yes.
And my friend and I want to set our cats up really, really bad because the idea of cats falling in love,
I love it.
it's precious.
It's Valentine's Day. Everyone needs someone to spend their Valentine's Day with. So I'm so happy for Sad Boy and Lola that they have each other.
Thank God.
That's all we have for this episode of Daybreak. From our family to yours, we're wishing you nothing but love this Valentine's Day.
As usual, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at DayBreakPPU. Until next time, I'm Devin Ami.
And I'm Addison Deal, hoping your news is great news. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.